everyone. Thanks for joining us on the GYST Podcast, where we discuss topics to help you get your together.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another fantastic episode of your favorite podcast, the GYST Podcast, also known as Get Your... Rohit, I can't hear you.
That was not even going to come close to working, Glenn. Sorry.
Damn! Get your shit together. I'm Glenn Rux. I'm one of your co-hosts, and with me in the studio today is...
Rohit Rohila.
Oh, right. My good buddy, Rohit. And we have a little bit of a deep episode for you today. Since the holidays are right around the corner, figured we'd discuss the value of the holidays and the value of what you're putting into the holidays. What are you putting the value into? You putting it into the things or the people and the experiences in your life? So with that, Rohit, what are your thoughts? Because I know you have a lot of thoughts on the holidays. You and I are both passionate about the holidays.
Yeah. So, why do people spend so much on the holidays, right?
Right. Let's start there.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is not necessarily take a look at the gift giving, but I'm going to talk about some of the other stuff, because during the holidays, experiences altogether tend to be a little bit more expensive.
Right.
You go out more, you eat out more, you host more parties, you go skiing. Like there's a lot of things that go into it. You're always shopping, not necessarily spending money, but gas money and maybe getting a coffee there or something like that. So
right.
So there's those expenses as well. And I think that's something that people don't factor into their holiday plans, because most holiday events just kind of sort of happen.
Right.
Hey, we're going here. We're going skiing. Do you guys want to go? Sure. Yeah. Okay. Sounds like a good time. And so because that, it's stuff that we didn't necessarily forecast.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think one thing that you could do is maybe plan one or two events a year. Make one a tradition, and then the other you do that's completely new, something that you've never done before. So that's a little bit about what I think about this.
Okay. So just planning two events. Well, what about those events where people sort of walk up to you and say, hey, I'm going to this party. You want to go?
Yeah.
Or that's where it kind of gets a little bit squiffy, especially during the holiday season when everyone has an event that they want you to go to, right?
Yeah.
There's parties. There's, hey, let's go to Leavenworth. Or, hey, let's go shopping this week. Let's go on a shopping trip. Make a road trip out of it, right? I mean, you and I do that, but...
Yeah. I think it's like we talked about. If you plan two things,
right,
and you're saying, okay, this one's going to cost $100, this one's going to be another $100. Okay, now I know I need to plan for at least $200.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything else is just a bonus. There's a party going on, cool. Yeah, I'll go. Or, hey, we're going skiing. It's like, oh, can I factor that? Yeah, okay, yeah, I can afford. I'm still good for that. So you don't overextend yourself. If you
right.
plan for at least two things, then everything else is just kind of a bonus.
Right. So being careful about what you're spending your money on, and making sure you're aware of that can help. But this is also the time of the season when people start to feel a little bit more depressed. Oddly enough, we found out it was more around the summertime, right?
Yeah, in the studies that we did, that was weird.
I think that's very weird, because you usually hear a lot more about depression during the cold and darker months. How can we find more positive in this and avoid those negative feelings that often come out in the holidays? I mean, people get cynical around the holidays, and they tend to look at what people are valuing, right? So how can we avoid those cynical feelings like, oh my God, they're just in it for the merchandising. They're just in it for the money. They're just in it trying to show off. I mean, how can you avoid those types of cynical feelings? Because to me, it looks like people are losing the value of the holidays right there.
It's interesting. I feel like the more you talk about how negative things are, then you are one of the people creating those negative things. a quote that I've read a few times on the air is by Uncle Iroh from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Something along the lines of, and I'll find it when Glenn's speaking, but something along the lines of, if you look for the light, you often find it, but if you look for the darkness, that's the only thing you'll ever see. And there are a lot of things that about the holidays that do bother me. You know, for example, starting in July this year, like as soon as 4th of July was over, I started seeing Christmas stuff.
Really? Christmas stuff?
Yeah, and it makes me wonder, like one of the questions I honestly do have is, do retailers who put out this stuff, months and months ahead of time, do they make money on that stuff during that time? Or would they make more money having their normal merchandise there? Because
that's a very good question.
Cost of shelf space and stuff. But so that could bother me if I think about it. It's
the commercialization of it.
Well, the fact that it's coming out earlier and earlier,
right?
It can ruin it for me because it's such a special time for me growing up. You would have a dedicated Halloween, and then you would have a dedicated Thanksgiving, and then the day after Thanksgiving is all about the month of December being about
Christmas, the holidays, right?
But it's creeping up to where now Thanksgiving is definitely ignored.
It is, yeah.
Halloween is getting there. And so, like this year didn't even feel like Halloween because there's so much Christmas stuff already.
All right. Every shop I've looked in right now has Christmas decorations already. It's not even Halloween yet.
Yeah. And so the thing is, I could let all that stuff bother me. But if I let that bother me, it takes away something that I'm really passionate about. I love Christmas. I say it multiple times. I'm a Hindu whose favorite holiday is Christmas. And my birthday is November 16th. So for me, now I wait till that day, and then I start putting up my Christmas decorations. Because I used to wait till after Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. And you know how much stuff I've got, Glenn. Like,
I've helped you put some of that stuff up. So yeah, I know.
By the time I put it up, it's time to take it back down. And so I don't let things that I know would make a negative impact on me, I don't allow them to make that negative impact. If I say I don't let them, that means that they're attacking me, mm-hmm. and I'm fighting them off. By me saying I don't allow them, it's saying the choice is up to me, and I pass. And so that's the thing is I take a look at a lot of the commercialization of Christmas, and the fact that you can't even say Merry Christmas anymore. It's Happy Holidays. I'm always going to say Merry Christmas because
Merry Christmas, man.
To me, that is what it's all about. It's about that time. I don't necessarily know or celebrate the religious aspect of it.
Right.
I celebrate the commercialization of it. What I know Christmas to be. And to me, that's going out and shopping for people that I love and getting creative gifts and hoping that they enjoy that. It's the hot chocolate, the cider,
I can still taste
everything,
I can still taste that first hot chocolate we got on our first shopping trip.
Oh yeah.
That was the most amazing hot chocolate. I've never had a hot chocolate as good as that.
And see, one of the things that I mentioned earlier is the traditions, like plan 2 events.
Right.
There are 2 very big events that I plan around you every single year. That is March 23rd, your birthday.
22nd.
And is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right. And the other is our annual Christmas shopping trip. Mm-hmm. Like those are
which almost didn't happen last year.
Yeah. So those are 2 of the biggest traditions that I even have in everything that I do, let alone celebrating them with you. And so, how do you enjoy the holidays without overspending or why people spend? Gifts have gone kind of out of hand.
They have.
Glenn pays $100. Glenn buys me a $100 gift. I need to give him a $100 gift, or otherwise I'm insulting him. To me, it's more about the small things and creating memories and experiences. I would much rather get you tickets to something unique if you want to invite me, that's great. If not, that's great too. I just want to give you that experience rather than, oh, here's some headphones I don't know if you're going to like.
Right. And I think that's part of the problem with the holidays is we're too focused on the things and giving the better gift that we lose sight of the more important parts of the holiday. Like Christmas, whether you celebrate the religious side or not, I think we can all agree that family time should come first, right? The love of the family, the love of those around you that you care for, friends, family, that should be the most important thing. That should be the things that people focus on, not necessarily the gift giving. I've got to give the best gift or they're going to look down on me. Forget that stuff. The best gift you can give someone else is yourself. The love that you offer them. And, it's kind of a tough thing to address. Throughout my life, I've gone through the highs and lows of Christmas. There were times when my family couldn't afford gifts. When my dad was a pastor, my mom was working 2 jobs. And for those of you that don't know, pastors do not make massive salaries unless they're Joel Osteen or Benny Hinn, those televangelists have their own private jets. Most pastors don't make a living salary. So money was always kind of tight growing up. And my parents did their best. They wanted to make sure that my sister and I experienced the best Christmases ever. So they would go without in order to get us gifts each Christmas. And I can remember getting a lot of the things that I wanted. I always asked for, and if I would have thought about it, I would have known my parents couldn't afford it. But they always did their best to get us what we wanted. And now I'm wondering if maybe they took the wrong approach with that. Because I'm looking at where they're at in life, and I'm looking at where I'm at in life. I'm going, you know what? Maybe we could have done without those gifts. And that extra money they could have invested in something else. And we would have been happier with each other, just the company we shared with each other. I don't know. It's hard to look back on it afterwards and go, this is what it would be if we had done this. Because it didn't happen that way.
Yeah, one of the things, I'm a huge baseball fan. And one of the things about baseball, rather than any other sport, is baseball is a chess match. Every single player on the field is involved in every single play. You may not see it because on TV all they show you is the batter, the catcher, and the pitcher, but there's tons of stuff going on behind the scenes. And it's a chess match. And you can easily say, wow, in the 3rd inning, if they had not done a sacrifice bunt, and instead tried to do a hit and run, then that would have led to this and we would have won the game. But you can't do that because you don't know if everything else would still play out the exact same way.
Exactly. Life is not a chess game, even though parts of it are like a chess game. It's just more of a 4th dimension chess game that you can't really see all the outcomes. Yeah. So you don't know what decisions you would have made if your life had changed even the slightest bit.
And there are, 5 things that I thought of that I've done as Christmas presents that were free to very little. And I can tell you that these 5 things that I've done meant so much to the other person. Mm-hmm. One of them, which is very inexpensive, is a photo frame with some of your favorite pictures of them. And there was one year out of college where I didn't have much money. So I was like, wow, I've got all these friends. What am I going to do? So I got a picture frame with 9 different spots on it. And I put meaningful pictures for them in those. So in the middle was a picture of, so for example, if it was you and I, in the middle is a picture of you and I. And then the other ones aren't necessarily ones that I'm even in. There's stuff that maybe you and your family that I found on Facebook, or you and a couple other friends, when we went bowling and I took a group picture of you guys, it's memories that are important to you, not me.
Right.
And then here's the other thing I do is I write a letter to that person and stick it in the picture frame. And I say, Glenn, I don't know if you're ever going to find this, but on this day, this year, I gave you this. This is what our friendship means to me. I hope you and I are still friends because this is the value you brought to me. Mm-hmm. I don't know if anyone has found those picture frames. Well, because it's also, if they go to replace the pictures and then, maybe it'll help them reconnect with something.
Right.
A date night in with cooking and maybe a movie. So it's not boy or girl. It's just having fun. Glenn, you know what? Here's your Christmas present. I'm going to come over to your house with groceries. I'm going to make you a meal to celebrate our friendship. Once we get done eating, here's a movie. Here's some popcorn. You just relax, have a good time. This is my gift to you. That's really impactful. Do a photo shoot outside. There's lots of holiday stuff. You know what, Glenn? Like for Christmas, what I wanted to do was, I noticed we don't have a lot of pictures together. How about you and I just go around taking pictures? I take some of you, you take some of me, but that's just the whole goal of it. We're just going to go out. If you see a beautiful tree, take a picture of that tree. It's just something we're going to share. Mm-hmm. A train ride. Train ride is lovely this time of year.
It is.
And it costs you what? Maybe $50 for two people or something like that. They're not as expensive as most people think, but that's something to do. Mm-hmm. And then go to a farmer's market with someone. And, you pay attention to them. And if you hear Glenn talking about these flowers a lot from the the Lely Market over at Pike's Place Market, owned by my good buddy Scott Chang and his family. Shout out to you, buddy.
Hi, Scott.
But if you go there, and you notice someone's paying a little bit more attention, then come back around and buy them those flowers or whatever. But it's all about making people feel important. And those gifts are so much more meaningful than, Glenn, I didn't know what to get you.
Here's a gift
I know
card.
You like Xbox. Here's some games. It's like Minecraft and something else, Fortnite, something you don't play or whatever, Like,
oh my God, Fortnite! Wow.
But
right.
You're trying to use gifts to show someone that you know about them. Mm-hmm. Okay, I know Glenn likes gaming. He's probably already got all this stuff. Yeah, you got it because you already like it.
Right.
So now what am I going to do? I'm going to go to stuff that I think you don't have. Well, if it's something you're passionate about, you probably don't have it for a reason. Because you don't like it, So by doing something where you're centered around memories and creating experiences, I think that's where the magic is.
I'd have to agree with that. For me, I have family members with birthdays throughout the holidays. My mom, for instance, is at the beginning of October. And right after that, we got Halloween. And right into that, we got Thanksgiving. These are two holidays that can be kind of expensive for events. I mean, you got costumes for Halloween. You've got a lot of food to buy for Thanksgiving, which I'm going to try and do Thanksgiving at my house for my parents this year. Especially now that my sister's moved out of the state. I mean, not even within driving distance. We're talking Oklahoma from Washington, so.
Those sound special for Mom and Pa Rocks?
Yeah, because I think they're not handling it too well that she's gone. I mean, they've been away from her before, but not this distance. So they're having a little bit of a hard time with that. So maybe we'll do Thanksgiving at my place. But then Christmas comes around, and that's a big, expensive holiday. I mean, there's parties I go to with friends. Not too many. You know me, I'm not much of a, hey, I've got to go to every party out there guy. I go to your parties.
That's because they're fun.
They are. And I've got an idea for an event at one of your parties coming up that I think we can try. Ooh. Make it different. But then right after Christmas, my dad's birthday is in January. So, I mean, it's literally from October to January.
Yeah.
It's a financial chess match. It's okay, where am I planning this? How am I going to make this affordable? Well, what can I do for everyone this year? I find different ways to reach out to them. And I can tell you, I finally found something that I know my mom enjoys more than presents. For her birthday this year, I gave her a special video card. I used pictures that I found of her when she was young, more recent photos that had both me and my sister, or just my sister, or just me, or we don't have too many of my dad. He's not a photo guy, but her and the dogs. And I put that into a video story for her. And I think she found more enjoyment out of that video than any of the gifts I've ever given her.
Glenn, you old softy.
I know. Yep, because I made sure she received it in an email while she was talking with me. She saw the email pop up. Did you email me something? I'm like, yeah, Mom, would you mind opening that and watching that video real quick? She did. And she had to set her phone down, and she told me she couldn't talk for a few minutes. So I was like, oh, damn, I made her mad. I must have really made her mad to have her put down the phone and say she couldn't talk for a few minutes. But she came back on and she was crying. And then I was like, oh, great, now I've made her sad.
Made your mama cry.
Made my mom cry. I'm going to hear about this from Dad later. But no, she said she loved the card, and it's probably the best gift I ever gave her. And I was like, well, I wanted to do something different because I wasn't sure what you wanted. You never talk about yourself much, and I thought I'd give you a message about what I thought you meant to me. And she enjoyed that a lot more. And sometimes I think we focus more on the things than adding enrichment to someone else's life. And something as simple as a message can change someone's day, can change their whole year, can change their holiday season.
Yeah.
So yeah. Holidays, man. I love the holidays. You know, you get on me because I listen to Christmas music in July or August, but it puts me in that happy time.
So how's that
mode.
different from stores?
The difference in stores is I'm not ready to buy Christmas stuff, but I'm ready to feel the emotional Christmas side. I'm not ready to commercialize on Christmas. I'm ready to get into that Christmas mode, that Christmas mentality. Because I do have a lot of happy childhood memories of Christmas, and that music instantly brings me into a happy place. It boosts my mood, and it actually, there was a study, I'm going to have to find the study and post it, but there was a study that says people that play Christmas music earlier in the year are generally happier throughout the year. And for me, it's true. When I listen to it, I'm a nice person. When I don't, I'm in politics, and that always makes me angry.
Yeah.
Holidays, man. They should be about enjoyment, not about things.
Yeah. So much of what we talked about is important because I think we both have seen it's not about the money, but it's about what else can you do besides, seeing the money aspect of it.
Right. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure we've went out and bought expensive gifts for someone before. I mean, just last year I did that for the entire family. But I don't do it every year. Sometimes I'm going to give them something small. Maybe I won't even give them something tangible, more something felt. And I think that's what more people are going to find enjoyment in. Finding different ways to make others happy. And it doesn't have to be expensive. You feel me, dog?
Yeah. Should we wrap things up then?
I think so. Why don't you give us the Rohit Rohila 2-minute takeaway?
So, ladies and gentlemen, today we talked about the holidays and how, if you aren't careful, you can have a tendency of spending too much. And there's so much to do and see that it's so easy to do in terms of spending money. Have a couple of things that you look forward to and make those your main events. It's not necessarily about buying gifts, but about creating memories. And that's what you think back. One thing that I always talk about is when you are younger, you see only the things that your family does that embarrass you. And the more you grow up, it's those things that you look forward to every year. It's like, oh, there's dad doing this again, or, whatever. But I can tell you, I remember my Christmases.
Every single one of them.
But I don't remember what I got. Only a couple times, I'm like, wow, I still remember I got this. But, I think the more people try to spend money on things that I don't necessarily want, but if they do something with me, those are the things that I remember, So, with that, what do you say, Glenn? You want to give us the farewell?
All right, folks. Well, thank you for joining us again. It's your favorite podcast, GYST Podcast. Get your shit together. Let us know what you think. Because we're really here to help ourselves grow, but we're also here to help you guys grow. And, if maybe listening to us helps you out, it's definitely helping us out. We're growing through this process with you. We'll catch you again. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook. We're there for you. Glenn Rooks signing out.
Bye.